All right, guys, welcome back to another New Legacy podcast. I got my man with me right here, Arthur Renowitzky. We've been friends for the last 7 years, going to eight, and
Mm,
I met him in college. So amazing individuals, and we do a lot of cool events over
definitely.
the Bay Area. He's like a celebrity in the San Francisco Bay Area. He does all the major collaboration with the nonprofits in the area,
Mm,
and you're a big part of the Warriors.
mm.
Art, tell
Happy,
us about yourself.
yeah. No, happy to be here, man. Happy to see you and catch up again. It's been 8 years, 7, 8 years, So
Yeah.
since we first met in college at a entrepreneurial mindset course, so it's cool to see all the cool stuff you're doing. Always proud of you, seeing the things you got going on, man. It's amazing to see, just seeing you run from state to state,
Yeah.
across America, and everything you're doing. Definitely proud of you, but yeah, just happy to be here, man, and to see everything you got going on, um, and also to share my story and share, kind of my journey and where I'm at and things I'm doing. So
Yeah, and
yeah.
you just got done with a surgery, right?
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah. Just had a surgery done. So there's all these complications that come with a spinal cord injury.
Hmm.
I've shared my story almost 18 years now,
Yeah.
and as soon as I got out of the hospital, that was my mission, is kind of just to share my testimony and to, work to give back to others, but also to uplift the paralyzed spinal cord injury community,
Hmm.
because I know what it's like to be rock bottom in that hospital bed. It is not something that you could easily just wake up and get over. You got to work at it every single day. So, yeah, I'm just happy to be here, man.
What is your turning point for you to start this whole nonprofit and movement?
Yeah, starting the movement, the Life Goes On movement, or LGL, the turning point was growing up my entire life able-bodied, being an
Hmm.
athlete, and then, while I was in college, I wake up. Uh, I'm sorry, I'm back up. I go to college
Hmm.
and I'll go out for a night of fun at a dance club, and I walk out and wrong place, wrong time. Life changes in the blink of an eye, and I am on the ground fighting for my life because I was just shot and robbed for my wallet.
Damn.
And that bullet went through my chest, went through both of my lungs, shattered my spinal cord, and it's still in me to this day. So uh, that was a turning point. Is when I got shot. I woke up from a coma. Doctor said I would never walk, never talk again.
Hmm.
I got my voice back, and that was the motivation I needed. I promised to never take my voice for granted ever again, and that's why I'm, able to speak here today, is because of that drive that I got from losing it, having it, losing it, getting it back, and promising myself never to take it for granted, because you know your whole life can change. I should be 6 feet under, but I'm here
Hmm.
speaking to you about how amazing life is, how I'm still here, throughout everything. You have your ups and your downs, but shit, man, you just gotta keep pushing, and you cannot give up. Otherwise, you're doing all the people that are 6 feet under, a disservice.
Yeah, and then a lot of people don't notice, but I think we had this conversation in private. But you said, "Hey, everything got taken away from me, and except for my voice, and you were gonna take that and like change the world with it."
Yeah,
Can you tell more about it?
yeah. Because the bullet hit both of my lungs, and I had to have a trach in my neck. I had chest tubes on both sides of my
Mm.
rib cages, and I had to learn how to speak all over again. I had to take,
Damn.
medication and do a lot of breathing exercises and whatnot. And it was very challenging trying to get back to breathe on my own again without a trach in my neck
Mhm.
and to be hooked up to oxygen. So once like I worked hard to get my voice back, I promised myself to use it for good, and to make the most out of it, because yeah, I have not being able to speak and to be able to share
Mhm.
how you feel with a tone, with your voice and the tone, and to speak, and just to tell my mom, like, I love you for being in the hospital and sleeping on, two chairs put together to make sure I'm good, like,
Wow.
stuff like that. So I literally had to write that on a piece of paper that the nurses would give me with a clipboard and a pen. So when you lose something again and you get it back, you're never gonna want to take that for granted. So my advice is like, don't wait for a tragedy like that to make a change and to be appreciative of the things you got, like your voice, the ability to stand up, to be able to, ability to walk around, ability to run, to jump, all of those type of things. Because man, if I got, if I'm doing what I'm doing now, but I got my legs back on top of it, like, there's no excuses. So
Damn, that's crazy. And you're paralyzed from where then?
I'm paralyzed from the chest down. So I'm a T3,
Mm-hmm.
complete spinal cord injury, and yeah, I'm paralyzed from the chest down. So just look at it as like I have 1/3 of my body that I can move and feel. So I have to compensate for the 2/3, like core and lower extremities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you played sports, right?
Hmm.
Can you tell people a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I grew up playing sports my entire life. Is a huge passion of mine. Just living an active lifestyle of hoop, football, track and field. And once I woke up from a coma, I thought that was over. Once the doctor told me I'd be paralyzed. So one day I went out to a hand cycling event, and then their wheelchair basketball coach was there, and he asked me if I wanted to do wheelchair basketball, try it out. So I went to go check it out, and I was like hooked, just seeing like dudes shooting from the 3-point line and fast break layups and physical, and just like the power of like team camaraderie and the resilience that they showed. I just wanted to be a part of it. So I started playing wheelchair basketball after that, and then eventually got to the point where I tried out for the Warriors wheelchair basketball team and made that team in 2016
Yeah.
and been playing ever since.
Yeah, I mean, I seen you play before. That's super sick.
Yeah.
Just like the team too of other people who have some disabilities too, and they don't let that stop them from living their best life and using the situation to motivate and inspire other people. You do a lot of speaking, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, I definitely done a lot of speaking ever since my injury. Like I said, I'm like an open book.
Yeah.
So whether I've spoken at places like LinkedIn,
Damn.
Google, Stanford before, all over schools, even high schools, juvenile halls. So I'm open to any space of people where I can like get there and have a platform and share my story. It could be 10 people, it could be thousands of people, but just to share my story because I know, again, going back to that hunger that I had to praying and fighting to get my voice back every night in the hospital bed, like I promised myself, like again, I would not take it for granted. So whenever I have an opportunity to speak and inspire for good in the world, I'm gonna take the opportunity to do it. As long as I'm like physically able to get there and make it happen, I'm gonna go for it. So yeah, definitely spoken all over.
Damn. Well, what age did that incident happen?
Yes, I was just turned 20 years old.
Damn.
Yes, I was young. I was young, trying to barely a year and a half, 2 years into being an adult that it happened to me. So it was yeah, pretty challenging at that young.
What type of like lessons and mindsets did you have to like come up with to like, not only are you, you know, surviving with the injury, but also like you're an entrepreneur too as well. So yeah, just let them know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, as far as being like my own boss and like wanting to work on my own time and enjoying life, like I didn't want to be, stuck to like the 9 to 5 type of grind. If that's what you do, that's what you do. Like, but for me, like I just wanted to live life on my own terms. I couldn't imagine being in a hospital for months and months, and I was basically living there to going out into the world and getting adjusted to this new lifestyle and having to go sit at a desk from 9 to 5 on top of this situation. So I wanted to do something where I can like buy more time and have my own, free time. So yeah, like I had started my own, clothing line after that, my own nonprofit organization, my own speaking, tour and things like that. So it's something that just spoke to me. God spoke to me, I feel like, and pushed me towards being on my own terms, my own time, and not having to, you know,
Yeah.
ask for permission to do things.
Yeah,
And
and I think I mean, what you're doing is like, I mean, I get to see behind the scene of it, but a lot of people don't. With a lot of late nights, early mornings, and one of the things I remember, we were prepping for an event at your house, and you were like, I was like, trying to get you in the car, but you're like, hey, can you make sure my toe's not broken? Like that's some crazy activity,
yeah, yeah,
Like I don't know if that like
damn,
normal people don't think about it, but it's like you can't feel it,
yeah,
and
yeah,
you're like, hey, just want to make sure it's
yeah.
not like. Can you tell me about it?
No,
That's
that's the
crazy.
thing. People don't know about the real shit behind it. Like, it's like I saw something online to like check on your friends because you don't know, what everybody's going through. They just make it look like it's good, right? So it's like for me, I mask a lot of the shit I'm going
Yeah,
through.
yeah,
But at the end of the day, I don't feel like nobody really gives a shit. Like you have to care about you for others to really care about you as well,
yeah.
right? With self-love and all of that. But yeah, I can't feel with spinal cord injury and paralysis. I could break my foot and I will not feel it. It will get to the point where there's a thing called autonomic dysreflexia, AD, where I break a bone and it takes time for all of that pain to rally up inside my body, go up and give me a huge headache. And if I got a huge headache, I got to get to the hospital as soon as possible because that means that autonomic dysreflexia is kicking in and there's a chance of stroke, death, like all kinds of bad
Damn.
shit to happen. So, you know what I mean? It's something where I always have to be careful and look out for my well-being. And that's why I say like I'm not just like a spinal cord injury, like, patient or whatever you want to call it. I really call myself a survivor because I'm really fighting every day to live the best life I can possible and have the highest quality of life due to my circumstances. But at the end of the day, I'd rather be in this wheelchair a million times over again than be dead
Yeah,
because I can still live life to the fullest, on my own terms.
yeah. Nah, I mean, you've been all over the Bay Area. Everyone knows you in the Bay Area. You're like famous. But yeah, it's because you make such a big impact everywhere. And you know, I'm an entrepreneur, so I have a lot of entrepreneur questions for
Yeah.
you. Because you've been doing this for like I don't know, 17 years.
Yeah.
Um,
It'll
what
be
are
18 years in December since my injury happened. Yeah.
oh wow. Um, but yeah, man, like I've been doing entrepreneurship for like seriously for like 2 years, and there was just so many lessons. Like what I'm talking about? Like ah man, it's crazy. Like everything comes at you really fast.
Yeah.
What is your advice for people who are you're looking to start their business and you know you have a big team, like bring together a team and stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my advice is to find what you're passionate about, plan it, and put action behind it. You know what I mean? Like a good idea is just an idea that's going to be an idea, but once you put work behind it, put a good, like you mentioned, like a good team. You have to have a good team behind you that believes in you as well and your mission, and it's your job to lead them, with that vision and that mission that you have. But putting action behind the good plan that you have and going for it, and not worrying about what people have to say. People are always going to be negative, talk positive, whether you're, doing it or not. So might as well do it and, let the negative naysayers do what they do.
Yeah, because a lot of people they don't like do a lot of like they don't live their best life because they're so afraid of what other people think. But I used to be one of those people. That's
Yeah.
why I get stressed and I'm bald.
Yeah.
You know, but um, like how did it like how did you overcome that?
You know what? I used to be the same way, my guy. I used to be the same way because especially getting out of the hospital. I was a young ass kid at 20 years old, and I remember our first field trip out of in the hospital, where they would take us on a field trip together. It was me and other couple other gunshot survivors in wheelchairs, and our first field trip to go out in public and just to learn how to open doors and to go up curved cutouts up, crossing the street, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we went to the movie theaters, and when we went to the movie theaters, I vividly remember just like kids like pointing and staring, or seeing people like talk oh my God, look at all those guys in wheelchairs.
Mm.
So it was like a huge shock to me at first because at that point I knew what it was like to live my life able-bodied, walking around this world and not getting like that type of attention, to being in a chair and getting new attention.
Mhm.
So that was new to me. So I used to kind of be like, when I first got out of the hospital, I fell into a deep, deep depression.
Mm.
I went back home after months in the hospital and I locked my door. I didn't come out for a long time. Not a long time, but like a good amount of time to where I had to snap out of it. And one day I just woke up. I was like, I'm not gonna live this life. I'm not gonna die like this. I'm gonna get out of the house, and I don't give a shit what anybody thinks. I don't care how many looks I get. If they're gonna look at me, I'm gonna give them some great to look at.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And a mentor of mine said, there's gonna be people that look at you. You could either look down and negative and pissed off, and you're not gonna create, people coming up to you and giving you some positive, type of interaction, or you can have a smile on your face, enjoy the day, and have positive reactions, positive, friendships and things like that. So it was a no-brainer at that point. I just had to get out of that mode and move forward, and yeah, I've been pushing ever since.
You know, would you starting your business and impacting like tens of thousands? Like, I mean, I don't even know. The number is crazy. Um, what was the hardest thing for you um, when you start your business? Like, what was like the thing that was like, oh, if I get this right, in the beginning.
The most challenging thing, I would say the most challenging thing about starting your own brand and your own business is just starting it and going from there and believing in yourself, believing in your brand and your mission, and not worrying about what people have to say. And do you just be the best you could be, and the right people will follow. Get the right team around you, and don't look back.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of time, like when I started my business, I don't have like a big loan or I don't have a big like funding, so I just kind of built everything as I go. Did you have to do the same, or what was your situation like?
Yeah, just starting from ground zero,
Mhm.
and having to invest and then reinvest and believing in your brand and knowing, I have to make this sacrifice and keep pushing along with it. But if you continue to grow and believe in it, it will be the brand that you create at the end of the day.
Do you ever had days where you're like, oh man, I don't think I could do this?
It's a lot of yeah, it's a lot of those days. It's ups and downs. But just ride the wave and continue to push hard every day, and staying aggressive with it. It'll all come together. But definitely gonna have those days. I've had some of the hardest days of my life, like in the beginning.
Hmm.
So I feel like I've conquered that. It's not much after that can go worse. You know what I mean? So um, losing, losing money on investments or things like that, you can't let it discourage you. And like I said, I've always just wanted to be my own person and not have to, work for somebody. So I feel like that really pushed me every day to do me and be the best me I could be.
Yeah, and like you know, seeing over the years, that's just a lot of people. I see people around you, and then they're no longer there anymore, or phases of people. And I'm having the same thing with like my business. So it's like
Mhm.
it's kind of weird to have someone close to you and then having them transition out in and out of your life. Like how is that? Like how do you handle stuff like that in business?
As far as people
Yeah, like employees, partners, friends.
that have a fallout type of thing, you
Yeah,
saying?
not fall, but like
But
just
just
like
like, yeah, come and go
they
type of
come
thing.
and go. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's the same thing with like a nonprofit organization. In the beginning, it's challenging because you start from just your small group of people that when I first started, for example, Life Goes On Foundation,
Mhm.
I got the idea when I got my voice back in the hospital. So I turned to my family and I said, "Hey, I want to start this mission, and I feel like this is a calling for me. I want to help people going through this. Will you all support me?" And it was just my family, and then it grew from friends, and then strangers that just heard about the mission on the news or whatever and wanted to come support, and reached out on the website or social media or whatnot. And then you have these volunteers and supporters and whatnot that come, and maybe they come for 6 months or a year, and then they want to do something else. They want to go support a new mission and go to a new mission. So it's always just bringing in, it's okay to bring in, new people that still want to support the mission. And, those people may come back and want to, or they're a lifelong supporter at the end of the day, but just maybe from afar.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, one thing is just not burning bridges and always showing love and being your authentic self.
Yeah.
Because if you're showing love and supporting those, and I was taught to treat the janitor to the CEO with respect, and knowing that um, everybody's is that wants to support you is going to support you, and to show them love. Of course, every chance you get.
Um, you play with the Warriors in the like in the league in the basketball.
NWA, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, what are some like things that you've seen like that your teammate has to overcome that you're like, oh my God, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
that relates to your story and you want to share that's like inspirational?
Yeah, I mean, I have teammates on the Road Warriors who were ran over by a train at 10 years old.
Damn.
Maybe they had to overcome cancer and they had to have their leg, cut off, and now wear a prosthetic, or they're a gunshot survivor like me, or a car accident survivor. There's so many type of different stories on the team. There's you know 12 players on the team. So each person has their own individual journey that they've, had to overcome. Um, but we are living with a disability, of course, to play in the NWPA, which is the wheelchair basketball league I play in. But us coming together, like we really motivate and inspire each other, and we go on the road and take flights together and play in different, places in different cities. So I've heard of everyone's story pretty much on our team,
Mhm.
and it's really just pushes me to keep going.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, there's all kinds of survivors out there that you don't even know their story. Some of these guys with prosthetics could wear jeans and they're walking around.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, one of my teammates, Brian Bell, he's a three-time gold medalist, Paralympian. Like in my eyes, the best wheelchair basketball player in the world, and he was ran over by a train at 10 years old, um, at his shin level around there, and he wears a prosthetic. But if he was wearing jeans, you wouldn't be able to tell. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
you don't know everybody's story, so you never know by what anybody's really going through. It could be an invisible type of disability, and you can't see it, but they still keep it pushing. You got to keep it pushing.
Yeah. What type of mindset do you have to have in order to like, you know, like I guess like I really want to dig deep in like the way you view life
Hmm.
because one having the disability is difficult, but you know, it's just like this is what I learned. Like a lot of people can do something cool, something awesome, something nice one time. But you've been doing it for such a long time. Like how do you what kind of mindset do you have to get? Like what kind of like point of view do you like reflect on in order to like stay so consistent?
Honestly, like every day I wake up and I'm breathing. I'm blessed. I know I'm blessed. But there's gonna be days where I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to, do the transfer in my chair and do the transfer like in the shower, and transfer in the car after that. Like I'm hitting about 10 to 20 transfers breaking up my chair a day.
Damn.
Going to the gym, like that's 2 times I got to break up. Like there's just it all adds up. So shoulders sore at the end of the day. you know wrist, hands, all of that. But at the end of the day, like I persevere, and when times do get hard for me, like I'll say it, I'll be in the shower. The power of prayer for me is very powerful, and I'll say a prayer in the shower, just to give strength and to keep going. But also just believing in myself and knowing that being not cocky, but being confident in my ability to be the best me. So be confident in you to be the best person you can be and know that whatever comes at you, like I'm strong enough to overcome it. The power of the human spirit is so powerful. And, I always reflect back on the hardest time of my life. Yeah, it was the hardest time. I got fucking shot in my chest. I'm still living with a bullet. I'm paralyzed. But that experience at only 20 years old, it taught me that I can get over everything from now on in this life and I can keep pushing through anything because if I overcame that at a young age of 20 and I'm at where I am now of, almost 17, 18 years of more life experience, there's nothing that can stop me and I'm going to just keep pushing forward every day.
So with the current, situation you have, you still can drive?
Yeah, yeah, that was one of the first things when I got out of the hospital, or when I was in the hospital, and I couldn't speak. But doctors came in, gave me the diagnosis. With my family sitting there, and hey, Arthur. Once I woke up from a coma, I was in a coma for almost a month. I was shot December 2nd of '07, and I woke up December 23rd, the day before Christmas Eve, to learn I would never walk, possibly never talk again. So when I did, talk to the doctors, and they told me my diagnosis, I was writing on the paper like, can I still, am I ever gonna be able to walk again? Am I able gonna have kids? Am I able to have a wife and family? Am I able to drive? Like, there's all of these thoughts. Can I have sex? Can I do this? There's so many questions that run through your mind from being a perfectly fine, athletic, able-bodied to now you're living with paralysis and all of these sick, like ways you can die can happen at any point because you're paralyzed.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned, you can't. Yeah, I break my foot, I'm not gonna feel it.
Hmm.
So there's all these things that are running through my mind at 20 years old. So that was one of the questions I had: is can I still drive? And yeah, I can still drive. I drive with hand controls perfectly fine every day. I've been driving ever since my injury, and that's such a freedom to be able to drive with hand controls, to be able to know that I can get from point A to point B. I could take a road trip from here to LA to Tahoe whenever I want from the Bay. And, I've driven to Vegas even, 8 hours, a long, long drive. So I know that it's given me a really big, boost of confidence and being independent.
Yeah, I feel like the human spirit in you is very far. You have to push through very like deep pain and struggles, and many times your back was against the wall, and you're able to prevail and get through everything.
Hmm.
What are some advice you have right now? The economy we have right now is kind of shitty.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are struggling really bad. Um, what kind of like advice would you give them to have like that steady, rock solid mindset to, or just attitude in order to get through the tough time? Because we're right around the corner. Probably 3 months from now, we're gonna have a big economic boom. But people are just, struggling really hard right
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. Um, Remember, I was paralyzed 2007, 2008.
now. Hmm.
And, that was when, housing crisis around that time.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine.
So it was like, I'm, it was so much
it
going on,
was
man. It's like,
double bad.
yeah, yeah. It was like my first scare was, growing up young, Y2K,
Mhm.
in 2000. And then, the housing crisis. Or, no, let me back up. I'm sorry. Y2K. And then, 9/11.
Mhm.
And then the housing crisis, all of that. So it was very challenging in the beginning once I first got out the hospital. So I've had to have this like undeniable faith that, just by just believing and having faith and not looking at the right now and the sight of everything bad that's going on right now, but just believe like there's some good that's going to happen.
Mhm.
And that's just always literally been my motto ever since I got out of the hospital and I had to learn how to push a wheelchair. I'm just gonna keep pushing. Like I'm gonna keep pushing. I'm gonna stay positive, stay focused, and stay locked in. And there's times where I'm gonna fall off, and I'm gonna, have negative thoughts creep in. But that's for me. That's the devil trying to,
Trying to
get
get
in
you.
my head and have these bad demons and bad thoughts. But I used to play football, so I just try to stiff arm the shit out of them every time they come into my head and keep moving and keep pushing forward. So yeah, that's always been my motto, man. Is just to keep going and keep pushing forward.
Yeah, I mean, well, I did a run across America, and that thing was,
Yeah,
I
I
was
can't
like,
imagine the demons you were
oh,
fighting with that.
yeah. I mean, it was
Yeah,
like multiple angles.
yeah,
But I did, when you mentioned like fighting multiple demons, different angles, so I felt that because like I had to on that run,
yeah,
and yeah, it was crazy.
yeah,
I get
yeah.
to see a whole America, but definitely a lot of I see a lot of people struggle in between the states. A lot of homes, a lot of ghost town. Believe it or not, like I will run through a town, nobody's there.
Wow. Yeah,
I was like, whoa,
yeah, yeah.
it's crazy.
Definitely, I'm sure you've seen some shit
There's
on
some
that
there
front.
was
On
some
that,
wild stuff,
yeah.
yeah, and I don't know, there was some paranormal activity too.
Yeah.
I was yeah, it was wild.
Wow. Yeah,
I'm never running at night ever again,
yeah.
especially in Missouri.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Out in Missouri, yeah. Wow. That's
dark.
what I like about the basketball team that I play on is that, when I woke up, when I was in the hospital, thought I would never drive, fly, go to different cities or whatever. Literally, I thought I was gonna, because I had everybody doing everything. Literally, I had nurses doing my bowel program. I don't want to. Can I get to TMI
You
or
do, yeah, whatever you want.
I don't really? We could not talk about it.
No, I prefer
Okay,
you do because this
to.
one's uncensored.
I literally had to. They had to do everything for me. I couldn't move. I had trach in my neck. I had a feeding tube that went from my nose all the way to my stomach. I had chest tubes on each side. I had a catheter that was hooked to my bed, and I had these big like space boots that had air in them to keep my legs from getting blood circulation. I was literally like a mummy. I thought I was never gonna be able to do anything.
Damn.
So once I got out of the hospital, I started doing rehab. I started getting healthier. And then I found basketball. And basketball honestly saved my life to go back to being an athlete, but an adaptive athlete. And then once I like saw the Warriors talk about the Warriors wheelchair basketball team on a pregame show one time, I was like, I want to do that. And got into it. But thankfully the basketball, like I've been able to travel all over the country. And it's been, funded by the Warriors, which is awesome. And with that, I've been in places like crazy places like Kansas, Wichita,
I've been
Kansas,
there, yeah.
Louisville, Kentucky, you know, all over the country playing wheelchair basketball and meeting different people and hearing their stories. So it's you never know what you're gonna see in this world if you don't take that gut feeling and go with the opportunities that present themselves.
Yeah, like 100%. And do you have like a specific morning routine to keep you like performing at this high level, or like what's your like your go to routine to keep you like locked in?
Yeah. As far as a good routine is just waking up, stretching. I get on my standing frame in the morning every day and try to stand for 30 minutes on there. And then from there, get some type of cardio in, whether, we've been to the marina before. Or
Yeah,
there's a hand bike at my gym that I'll use to get my cardio, in the morning. And then from there, I'll do some shooting, things like that with some basketball, some, weights, and things like that. Yeah, I got my guy Marcel Dance. He's actually a trainer here with us right now, and getting him to train me at the gym, and things like that. But I would say just movement is for sure has to be part of your routine. But also like for me, like I said, in the shower, I usually like to have a morning like prayer as well, or and just try to lock in the day because you're already gonna take a shower in the morning every day. Might as well start with some type of you know self like speaking to yourself, speaking good things to yourself, and empowering yourself to have a good day and go from there.
yeah. Do you do any like meditation stuff like that?
Yeah, meditation, prayer. I feel like for me, that's yeah, Usually works for me.
That's like I'm just really like amazed. Like you've been doing this for such a long time, and like the trial and tribulation over the stretch of time. People like don't like they don't a lot of people are 9 to 5, so they don't really see that struggle
Yeah.
because like any business, any organization, any, even a nonprofit too as well, they're all hard. But it's like the levels gets harder as the time duration goes on,
Hmm.
And I'm starting to see that, and like, and kudos to you for making like decade plus.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. It definitely flew by. 17 years living with since it's happened, going on 18 years in December.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it really flew by. So time is precious, and I'm just enjoying and trying to make the most of every single day we get. Cause shit, you don't know, and you don't know if you're gonna wake up tomorrow, so you might
Yeah,
as well make the best out of it.
yeah. Like what is we all know that you're very successful at what you do, but what are some like big failures that you have that you got a good lesson on that you want to share with the world? And
Uh,
it could be personal too.
yeah,
It
yeah.
doesn't have to be business or
Okay, I mean, definitely been a lot of rock bottom moments. There's times where I've literally been in another city by myself, fall out my chair,
yeah,
accidentally and just have to fight to get back up, and bounce back in my chair, um, you know, type of things where it's like, it really, when that happens, it really brings me back about, damn, if I didn't get shot, I always reflects like, damn, if I was able bodied, like I wouldn't have to worry about this.
yeah,
So I have a lot of reflection during those times, which is a hardship in a sense, but I would never be this resilient and be where I'm at today if it wasn't for that happening,
mhm,
to where I have to be thankful for everything that I've been through because it's led me to where I'm at today. And yeah, I mean, I know that that wasn't my first time falling whenever I was out of town, all the times I've fallen and whatnot. And it definitely ain't gonna be my last. So
yeah.
what's the quote? Fall down 7 times, get up 8,
Mhm.
So um yeah, I've kind of just adapted every time that happens to me, and just kept going.
Yeah, it's not just the physical fall, but it's the humility, it's the freaking anger, it's the freaking like, oh my god.
And people, I mean, I've talked about it at on the speeches. There was a news segment that went out on my 10-year anniversary about my shooter never been being found,
Oh
or
wow.
brought to justice or whatnot. I really don't give a shit at this point. I don't think I ever really did.
Hmm.
I just wanted to be the best I could be for myself and my family and my mom, and to make her proud and whatnot. But there are times where I do reflect that if I wasn't shot and paralyzed, I would not fall and have to struggle to get back up in my chair and not think about that. So I do find myself sometimes thinking about the the young person that put me in this
Yeah,
wheelchair.
yeah,
But again, I always have to think about the overall picture. If you didn't go through the hardship that you've gone through in your life to make you who you are, give you the strength that you have, then um, you wouldn't be who you are. You wouldn't be as strong as you are, and you have to be thankful for that.
yeah. I felt that like just imagining that, it's insane.
Yeah,
The pain.
definitely, definitely. And it was like in the beginning was very challenging because you know you're young and you don't know who shot you and paralyzed you and put you and your family through this. Because it's not just me that was affected; it's a domino effect. Whenever a tragedy like that happens to a family,
Hmm.
it affects the mom first, and maybe the grandparents, and the father, and the brothers and sisters and cousins and whatnot. So it's a domino effect. But I literally had to one night take all this hate and negative energy out of my heart and sit down, and I remember like it was yesterday. About I lit a candle, I rolled up on my desk, and I literally wrote a letter to my shooter, up, letting him know I forgive you. I'm gonna move on and be the best I could be, and thank you for, you know, turning me into this person I am today and giving me the strength to keep pushing forward. And once I did that, I let all of that negativity out of my heart, out of my energies, and I just kept moving. And I think that was a really good move to do, man, because it's, you know, it propelled me to be grateful and have gratitude that I'm still here, and that didn't stop me.
Damn. I don't know what to ask after that. That
Yeah,
that was that was many layers of
yeah,
pain that we had to get to feel through
hmm
you. That's insane.
yeah.
Wow. What are some what are some phrases and motivational quotes that you use to get yourself through the hard times and that other people might be able to?
Yeah, I mean, as corny as it sounds, like there's so much good stuff on YouTube. You go to YouTube University and like you type in, a motivational hype video or something. Like I'll catch myself doing that shit. Like when I have a tough day, I literally just hop on YouTube and there I have uh, like 10 of them saved. Where I'll just and they're like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I'll just play it and I'll keep going. But also again, like just saying that morning prayer, that prayer in the shower, and knowing that I can overcome this day and keep pushing.
Mm. If if you can go back in time, like your organization stuff like
Mm.
that, what would one thing you do that's different?
Uh, if I was to speak to myself 10, 15 years ago, I would tell myself, you know, love those who truly love you. Spend time with the ones that matter most. I lost my father in a pretty tragic way, and having to do all the funeral stuff and all that. That was taxing. That was a very difficult time. Um, so just spending time with those that mean most to you, and knowing that going out and hanging with people that aren't good for you, that are sucking the life and the energy or whatever. Um, Stiff arm that and keep it going and keep pushing and spend time with the people that really mean the most to you, and grow with those people, create memories with those people, and let them know you love them often.
Yeah, no, that's powerful.
You know?
Yeah, as we're coming near the end, can you tell us more about your organization and how you guys help people, and how can people find you?
Yeah, so Life Goes On Foundation, you can type in LGOF as in family and then .org. So the acronym for Life Goes On Foundation, and find us on there, but also on social media. My handle where I, post on there, message on there, type of things. AR the inspiration, and then yeah, Life Goes On Foundation, and what we do is um, support though is spinal cord injury support, pushing this movement to end senseless gun violence, and also to uplift our the next generation. So we have multiple programming, but as far as what the spinal cord injury support, supporting those with spinal cord injuries, usually due to senseless gun violence, but also we support those like car accidents, spinal cord injuries. Any way to sustain a type of spinal cord injury, we want to be there and mentor and support them and get them on a journey of living the best quality of life that they can live despite these circumstances. And myself and our team and other people, that have been 10 years post injury, we are that important piece in their life to be able to let them know, hey, you know, I'm here. I did it. This is what worked for me. Maybe this will work for you. Do it in your own way. But you ever have any questions or you need somebody to talk to, you can call me. You can call us. So
Mhm.
that was very important for me in the beginning, and that put me on a great road to success. But that is important. Also, our speaking tour going all over to high schools, juvenile halls, colleges, wherever companies. All over the Bay Area, all across California. even out of the state to state. And speaking and sharing our mission is another part of the foundation. And then also our leadership programs. We take them to professional sporting games, bring in keynote speakers to talk about entrepreneurship, credit repair, all types of great leaders that come in from all over and give them some hope and some inspiration and some support. Because as a young person, you definitely need that, especially kids that are growing up and all over, but in the inner cities too, up like Oakland, San Francisco.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can check us out. Life Goes On Foundation.
What is your next big move for your business? Your foundation.
Yeah.
It's an entrepreneur podcast. I keep thinking.
I know. No, you're good. You're good. So yeah, for the foundation, just continue to grow, and use our platform to help others. I feel like inspiring people and being a positive influence in their life is more powerful than people think, and it could save a life. And for that, you can't really put a price tag on that, right?
So, if you had the ability to give the world a message today, and everyone's gonna get this message, what would it be?
Well, if I had a message to the world, it's the message that I've been telling myself every day is to just keep going, keep pushing. That life goes on. Don't sweat the small stuff and focus on the things you can control. Control the controllables, and always believe in yourself, no matter all of the odds that are stacked against you. Because again, the power of the human spirit is beyond measurable. So keep pushing, be you, and know that you're here for a reason.
I like that. Before we close out, do you have any other thing you want to add to the audience?
Nah, man, it's been a great time catching up with you, and excited to go on some of these boat trips and stuff, private jets and stuff like that. You're doing it big, man. So it's always good to see you, especially where we both came from to what
Oh, you saw me when I first started.
Definitely, man.
I didn't know anything.
Yeah,
I still was YOLOing it though.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So I'm just excited to continue to keep going, man. And yeah.
Yeah. Well, Art, thank you for being on our show and a podcast today. You guys can find him links below. You got to watch some of his YouTube content because it's very inspirational, and he's not like, here for, like he's here for the long game. He's here to change the world. So, and he's patient, and that's something that I learned from you. I'm like, how does he do it every day? Like, this is like, I don't know how he just he just does it like clockwork, But that's where I'm struggling at, and I'm trying to be more consistent at. And when you're struggling through something, you do look for people that have those keys that you're looking for. But thank you. You also mentor me when I was like starting my entrepreneurship journey, and fresh out of the military, I didn't know anything.
Nah, man, you helped definitely. I'll never forget when you came through Clutch at one of our galas and for the foundation, and you were helping run the merch booth. And Steph Curry was actually there that night. That was a big night, and it was just meaningful to see everybody come together and make that night work. But me and you, always had that special connection, man, and you had that drive in you ever since I met you. So it's awesome to see you continue to level up and want more and more and more from yourself and your business and everything you're doing every time I talk to you and see you online. So, hey, man, let's keep it going and keep persevering.
Yeah. Well, thank you, brother.
Yeah, definitely.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.